Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me live today. This is Nina Robert, your Success and Mindset Coach, and today is day 4 of the 5-day Success Challenge. Prepare for some golden nuggets today because I have some very aha moments for you. So be sure to join me until the end. And if you cannot make it live, as usual, the meeting is recorded. So if you registered using your email, you will receive the link to watch the replay just after the session is finished. So let me go ahead and share my screen and let's get started. So as usual, feel free to add your questions inside the chat or on Facebook if you are watching me live on Facebook. So today I wanted to start by sharing the concept of the magic word. And the magic word is what Earl Nightingale calls the most important element of success. So to begin with who's Earl Nightingale and what is the magic word? Earl Nightingale was a broadcaster and author in the 50s, and he was the man who created the personal development industry as we know it today. So I think it's very important to understand what he calls the magic word, because if the guy who invented the whole industry of the personal development suggests that this is the most important element of success, we absolutely need to understand what the magic word is and what it means. So what do you think it is? Let's start brainstorming. What do you think the magic word is that Earl Nightingale called the most important element of success? Tell me in the chat if you have any idea what the magic word is. All right, I'll have a look at the Facebook comments as well. Okay, let's keep it simple. The magic word is attitude. And attitude is one of the most important pillars of success because it will absolutely determine your results in terms of success, achievement, goals, and happiness. Attitude controls all of your results. So let's understand what attitude is and how it works and how it actually can shape your results and how can we change it if it's not working right for us, and how do we understand that is we simply need to look at the results. So have a look at the results and you will see and you will understand what your attitude is. So attitude is the composite of your thoughts, your emotions, feelings, and actions. And we are using the stick person again to understand this concept. So yesterday we understood, yesterday and the day before, we explained how your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions determine your results. And actually, your attitude is the composite of all of these 3 elements: the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. And why is that? Because as we explained the day before, the way you think will trigger your emotions. And the way you feel, your emotions, your emotional involvement with your thoughts and with your ideas will eventually determine your actions, the way your body will move. And your actions will determine your results by the law of cause and effect. You do something and something happens as a result of that. So the attitude of someone is the composite of their thoughts, their emotions, and their actions. What does that mean? Someone with the good attitude cannot have bad thoughts, bad feelings, but good actions. They can only have actions, emotions, and thoughts that are aligned, that are in harmony as an attitude and would present themselves as a determined attitude. So let's say, for example, someone is commenting on your attitude, they're not commenting on your thoughts, or they're not commenting on the way you feel, because they probably don't know. And they're not commenting only on your actions. They're commenting on the composite, on the result of all these three elements. That is the elements of the mind: your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So when someone actually says, you have a good attitude, they mean that your thoughts, your feelings, your actions are aligned in a certain way that you project a good attitude that is a result of all of these three elements. When someone comments on your attitude, they're commenting on something that is seen, that you project, but they don't know what's going on inside of you. And part of what's going on inside is subconscious, but it still projects itself in the physical world as your attitude, as your actions. Let's say, for example, you invite me at your home and you bake a cake, and I would comment on the cake. I would say, that's a great cake. It tastes delicious. I wouldn't be able to say, or it wouldn't make sense for me to say, that's some good flour you use for the cake, or great spice. I wouldn't be able to say that because it doesn't make sense. I would comment on the composite. I would want to comment on the result. And this is the same thing that people see. People see the composite, the result. The result is the cake, but the cake is the composite of many elements. And so are your results, and so is your attitude. It's the composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So again, we're using the famous stick picture, the stick person that we used the 2 days before to explain the attitude and how it actually will control your results. So this is what Earl Nightingale called the magic word. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll have a look at the chat and at the Facebook comments in the meantime. All right. So we said that your results are dictated by your attitude. Let's say a few examples about this. Let's say a person has a bad attitude towards learning, for example. This person would not learn much. And I remember many of my friends in high school, for example, had a very bad attitude towards being brilliant in class, or being smart, or having good grades. They just did not like that picture, and they would always say that learning is not for me, I don't enjoy school, this is not my thing, I hate being at school, things like that. So they had a bad attitude towards learning. Well, guess what? They didn't learn much, because as soon as they would decide to go and learn something, or decide to focus on their learning, the attitude would show that they're not ready, that they don't like it. And your body will follow what your subconscious mind and what your thoughts are suggesting. So a person with a bad attitude towards something will not do much of that thing. The same thing towards, for example, going to the gym, or starting a diet, or having a healthier lifestyle. If you decide, for example, to have a healthy lifestyle, but you're still suggesting over and over again that you need to lose weight, that you look horrible, that you're not controlling yourself, or you don't have any self-control, the way you repeat that over and over again over the days, you are suggesting to yourself that this is not going to happen, and your body will listen and will move you towards that. That's not going to happen. So now that we set the example of someone who has a bad attitude towards something versus someone who has a good attitude towards something, let's say that these two people have the same potential, the same skills, the same level of experience, the same status, the same kind of income, the same environment, and they decide to do something. If they have a different attitude, if someone starts the same task saying, I won't be able to do this, this is too hard, this is a bad decision that I made, I won't be able to succeed, while someone else is going to say, this is my thing, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do my best, and I'm here to succeed, I came to win. who do you think is going to win, even if they have the same potential, the same skills, and the same level of experience? Of course, the person with the better attitude. And not only that, the person with the better attitude will actually succeed even if they lack potential, even if they lack intelligence, skills, or whatever that they need to fulfill that task. So your attitude at the start of the task will determine more than anything else, more than your income, your skills, your potential, your intelligence, more than anything else, the fact that you're going to succeed or that you're going to fail. One of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. Do you remember Forrest Gump? He was not the most brilliant person out there, but still he had a very good attitude, and he didn't actually know that something was difficult until he did it. And people couldn't believe their eyes, the way he was doing things. He just did everything with a good attitude and started the task with a very good intention. And he used to say something that really stuck with me over the years. When someone tells him, "You're stupid," or "Are you stupid," or something, he would say, "My mother said that stupid is as stupid does." And I really love that. I didn't actually quite understand it at the beginning, but when I watched the movie over and over again, stupid is as stupid does. So don't judge yourself or don't judge someone else of being brilliant or stupid or skillful or has potential or not until they do something. But guess what? You can suggest the best to yourself about yourself, and your body will follow, your actions will follow, and your results will follow that suggestion. So let's do as Forrest Gump did. Now, yesterday we talked about the self-image, right? And we established that your self-image is part of your paradigm, it's part of your subconscious conditioning, and it will determine your results. So now that I said that attitude actually does the same thing, what's the relationship between attitude and self-image? We're going to see this right away. Let me share my screen again. So from self-image to attitude, we're starting to think as a different person, right? So we established that we now have a better self-image and that we're starting to think as a successful person. The way we are collecting ideas from around us and the way that we established that we have a choice to choose whether to accept, reject, or ignore any idea that comes around us will control the ideas that will actually get absorbed through our subconscious mind and through our self-image. So our self-image being a part of your subconscious mind, it is triggered by all your thoughts. So let's say we established since yesterday that now we are working on our self-image and we are working on this winner's image that we want to become, on our future version that we want to project ourselves to. So we start thinking success. We start collecting ideas about success. These ideas will eventually trigger our emotions and get us emotionally involved with the idea that we are a more successful person than we were yesterday, and that we are getting more and more successful, we are getting better and better doing what we want to do. So your thoughts again are triggering your emotions, and part of your emotions is going to change your self-image. So again, seeing that attitude is the composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. When you think success, you feel success, you feel like a successful person, and you start building a successful image of yourself. What happens when you start building a successful image of yourself? If you get emotionally involved with it, you will start acting as a successful person. You will start mixing with more successful people, and you will start seeing opportunities for success. And guess what? This composite, this mix of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are going to define your attitude. And what happens when a person has an attitude for success? They will start every single task or every single challenge that they're going to face throughout your journey to success with a success attitude, with a success mindset. They will start the task thinking, I'm a successful person. I've already achieved that. I have the thoughts, the feelings, and the action of a successful person. And by law, the results must follow. The results must be a success. Tell me if that makes sense, if that resonates with you, or if you have any questions. So as we said yesterday, start thinking, feeling, and acting like the successful person you want to become. Start becoming that person. And in order for you to start becoming that person, you have to ask yourself, who is that person? What do they look like? What do they, what's their daily activities like? Who do they mix with? Where do they go on a daily basis? What's their main challenge at the moment? Or what's their main accomplishment at the moment? Try to get to know your future self. And what we're doing here is that we are reverse engineering the process of success. We are reverse engineering the process of getting to become the person that you want to become. So what we're doing is that we start acting like the person we want to become until we are that person. And once we are that person, until we are that person, the results are not going to happen. So you have to become that person before the results will come to you. So now the challenge is, how do I become that person? How do I feel successful if I'm not? If the results are not actually there yet? So how do I feel rich if I have bills to pay and I can't pay them? How do I feel successful and confident if I have trouble making myself express myself and have trouble talking to people? How do I do that? Well, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what's suggested and what's real. And this is your clue. This is the key to become that person. So when you start acting like that person, you're going to make suggestions through affirmations. You're going to get emotionally involved through simulations of feelings. What did that person, for example, look like? Start making the effort to look like the person you want to become. How do they dress? Maybe by something new that they would wear, for example. Maybe go and do a professional photo shoot. Maybe go and simulate yourself in public speaking to other people. You want a dream car? Go and do a test drive. Have the feeling of the thing happening. It's there when you get emotionally involved with the picture. And when you get emotionally involved, again and again, I'm saying this word, emotionally involved, you want to feel the things. When you feel something, it's impressed on your subconscious mind. Your feelings will trigger your actions, just as your actions will trigger your feelings. So you can actually reverse engineer the process. When you want to become successful, you have to feel successful. And in order for you to feel successful, try to picture yourself as successful, and then you will understand what you need to do to feel that way. Once you train yourself to feel successful over and over again, do something new every day, or do the same thing that you managed to do as your future millionaire version, for example, and you will feel more and more into that picture, and it would get more comfortable and more familiar. And once it gets more familiar, the results will start to happen. And this is the reverse engineering process that I wanted to suggest. So what to do if you don't feel successful? You trigger yourself, or you trick your subconscious mind into feeling that through affirmations, through getting into a simulation of a feeling, and through repetition, especially repetition. Constant spaced repetition is how we train the subconscious mind. And once your subconscious mind is already there, you cannot change it back unless you repeat a negative thing over and over again. We don't want to do that. Once you train your subconscious mind, your actions will follow. You start acting more confident, you start having more thoughts and more ideas of what you want to achieve, and you start having a better attitude towards what you are going to do and what you want to achieve. Any questions about that? So I'm going to go back to the stick person. So your subconscious mind does not make the difference between what's suggested and what's real. The only part of your mind that can make the difference is your thinking mind. And this is where you have the choice. So you have the choice to filter whatever that is going on inside your head and whatever that is going on outside, in terms of environment, in terms of what you're looking at or what you see, what you're learning on a daily basis. You have the choice on a conscious level. So choose only what's best for you. Choose only the pictures that will move you forward towards your goal. Once your subconscious mind is trained enough through repetition over and over again into believing this new picture, it can only accept it. And the subconscious mind is truly powerful because it's the only thing that will move your body to action, and it will move you through manifestation process into achieving your goal. So you have a very powerful yet very flexible tool that you can use. That is your subconscious mind. You only need to repeat an idea over and over again by getting emotionally involved with it, but your subconscious mind will take it from there and do whatever it takes and do its best to move you forward through that picture, because it will make that picture come true. This is what the subconscious mind does. Whatever idea that you impress through your into your subconscious mind will move forward to produce new conditions, new circumstances, and will move you forward towards your result. Yeah, I love the reverse engineering part too, because it's scientifically understandable for me, and I love that. As I said, I really want to make sense of everything, especially this kind of spiritual manifestation concepts. Sometimes, if it doesn't make sense, I can't really get emotionally involved with it. I can't believe it. So I need to make sense of it. And the word reverse engineering makes total sense to me because I can see the process, so I can actually reverse engineer it. If I can prove to myself that through repetition, I can train my subconscious mind to move me forward to my actions and to my results, well, then it makes sense for me to do it. So what we can do now is to get more familiar with our future self. How do we do that? We can ask them questions. We can get familiar with them through getting to know them better. You may think you know yourself now, or at least your current version, but you also need to know your future version, because your future version does whatever that you want to do, whatever that you dream of having, they already have. So ask them questions. The best exercise that I do is I write conversations. I ask questions and then I put myself into kind of a meditative state. I just sit and relax and get my mind open and receptive. And I ask my future self questions. I ask, how do I do that? Do you have any idea what can I do today to move me forward towards my goal? Um, I have this situation, for example. What would my future self do in that same situation with more skills, with more income, with more ability, with more confidence? And the answer is there. Once you ask the question, write it down, you will write down the answer right away. All the questions will come with an answer. So ask the questions, just make it as clear and as detailed as possible in your mind, and then write it down and try to just brainstorm with yourself. Ask your future self questions and get to know them better. When you get to know them better, for example, through the exercise that I suggested on day one, when we did the want list, it's like you're asking your future self, what do you have that I want? They already have whatever you want. So ask them, get to know them better. They will guide you towards your future version, towards your future results. So now that we talked about attitude, We're going to talk about something else, staying in the equations and reverse engineering vocabulary that I love. We're going to talk about the common denominator of success, because there's something in common that all the winners have that differentiate the winners from the rest of the population, from the rest of the world. And there is one thing, the common denominator of success is the ability of a person to make decisions fast and to change them slowly if they change them at all. Now, what do I mean by that? Most winners actually have a very strong ability of making decisions. They are decisive people. And what's the rest of the people are doing? They're what we call ambivalent. What does ambivalent mean? Ambivalent means that you don't make any decision until you are carried along with the flow, or at least you make reversible decisions, something that you can change your mind about, or something that you can roll back. You cannot make decisions fast, and when you make a decision, maybe you're going to change your mind the day after. These people are called ambivalent, and the opposite of that is decisive. So what do ambivalent people do? They stay in the same job for years, even if they hate it, because everyone else is staying in the same job and everyone else is telling them that this is safer than starting a business or switching careers, or maybe starting new studies to follow your passion, or whatever it is that they want to do. They follow the same hobbies. They do whatever everyone else is doing. They follow trends and just do whatever is trendy and just follow along with the flow. Again, I'm using the this concept of following the flow because it's what most people are doing. They follow the same style. They have even the same furniture at home because they are not familiar with their true self. They don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, well, you are just going to settle with whatever other approach, whatever other path that other people are doing. That reminds me of the movie or the book Alice in Wonderland, when she got lost and she met the crazy cat, and she asked him about where should I go, like which way? And he said, where are you going? Well, she said, I don't know. He said, well, either way is good. You can choose whatever way because you don't know where you're going. It doesn't matter. And this is what ambivalent means. When you don't know where you're going, you can choose whatever other way that is suggested over there. And guess what? The suggestions are all over the place. And they're usually not what you want for yourself. So unless you ask yourself this true question, what you really want, you won't be able to make decisions, because being decisive requires commitment, requires engagement, requires discipline. So let's see what differentiates the winners from the masses, using the stick person again. The main problem of all humanity, of all challenges in the world, is one thing, and that is ignorance. If we had a better understanding of ourselves, of our world, of our true nature, if we had a better understanding of what's going on in our subconscious mind, what would imagine what the world will be. Our relationships will be much more clearer. Our results are going to be much better. The world will be a much better place. So the most important problem out there, if not the only problem out there, is ignorance. And it's your most important problem ever that you're going to face, ever. Because if you had a better understanding, if you knew better, you would do better and you would get better results. So the most important problem is ignorance. And why is ignorance and understanding correlated with decision? Because we want to make decisions fast and change them slowly, as the winners do. But does that mean that we need to make decisions on an impulsive way? Absolutely not. So there's a difference between making decisions fast and making impulsive decisions. Now, here we are talking about making decisions based on understanding and making decisions based on truly understanding what your true self is and what you really want. If you know exactly what you want, you will know deep inside of you what kind of decisions that you need to make. And you don't need to second guess. You don't need to ask someone else, what do you think? You would hear people, most people say, what do you think I should do? Give me your opinion. I'm not sure if I want to do that. Or I guess everyone else is doing it, so why not me? This is what ambivalence is. They're asking someone else to decide for themselves. And guess what? People love to decide for other people. It's your only business, and it's only your business to decide for yourself. And you have to get really, really good at being decisive. And when we're talking about decision, we're talking about committed decision. That is decision correlated with discipline. So you want to have successful and consistent results, right? So if you want to get more fit, and you decide at the beginning of the year that your resolution for this year is to become fit, and you start going to the gym, you will not see results the first week, the first month, probably, unless you stay committed and you keep doing whatever you decided to do, and you don't change your mind in the meantime, you will not see results. So this is what decision is about. You know what you want. You know that's the best decision for you because you have faith on yourself and you have belief. You make the decision, you don't change it until the result is there. And this is what committed decision is about. I have examples of two kinds of people I listen to very carefully. Some people I listen to and do exactly what they tell me, like my mentors, like people that are successful, like people that I know have the results that I have. I listen to what they're telling me and I do exactly what they're telling me to do. And there are some other people I listen to very carefully as well and do exactly the opposite of what they're saying. You know, these kind of people that absolutely love to mind your own business and to give you unsolicited advice, but they don't have the results that they want or that you want. So you don't want to listen to those people. Listen, but to make the exact opposite decisions, or to do exactly the opposite of what they're telling you. Any questions so far? All right. So, what's the best decision that you can make today that will allow you to change your life? I would say get to know yourself and get to study yourself. The most important and passionate topic that you can basically think of studying is yourself. You may think that you know yourself, but there is so much to learn, so much to discover if you only let your mind open and dare to dream and just get the lid off your mind and just watch the fireworks. So the best decision that you can make today is to develop yourself and is to get to know yourself better. Um, Let me know if you have any story or something that you want to share about getting to know yourself. And in the meantime, I will share my own story. Um, so you say, yeah, that's okay, Nada. See you later. Um, we said that paradigms change through two processes. One was emotional impact, as we said the previous days, through emotional shock or through emotional involvement. And the second is through repetition and being guided. So you need repetition, but in a very guided way, in a step-by-step process. You need a recipe to follow. So this is why you need mentoring. So this is why you cannot just get yourself out there and start this repetition process all by yourself, because the paradigm is there to prevent you. And we said that the intention of the paradigm is actually very good. The intention, it's there to protect you. So what we want to do is to repeat a step-by-step process, but in a very guided way, in a very clear way, and make committed decisions and stay disciplined. So you have the equation here. We have the first thing, decide on a goal. The second thing is to understand the mind. The third element is to understand the self-image. And today we saw two other elements. The first was attitude, and we saw that this is the composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And this is what determine if the result is actually good or not. And then we established that the winners and the masses have only one major difference between them. The winners make committed decisions, and they make decisions fast, and they change them slowly, if at all, while the rest of the population, the rest of the world, will just accept to be carried along and will stay ambivalent until they are just carried along with other people that also don't know what they're doing. So here's my story, and here's what happened to me that actually made me change my life and made me embark into this journey of coaching and of mentoring other people. So a few years ago, my life was actually very good. I was quite happy with my results. I was satisfied, and I say satisfied, quote unquote, because it's not good to be satisfied. If you are satisfied with your results, it means you're not going any further. You're not going anywhere else that is better, because for you, satisfaction, it means that is enough, and you don't want that. So I was satisfied. And sometimes we need a trigger. We need something that happens that will completely change your perspective and start making you ask questions, and we want that. For me, it was an emotional impact. So I got sick, and I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. And the first impression, or the first thought that I had, was that this is so unfair. I always did my best, and I always had a healthy lifestyle. So this is unfair, and why me? This is the first thought that I remember having. And then after a few days, after processing this emotional shock that I had after this diagnosis, I started thinking some other way, some different way. And I started thinking that maybe I have a choice in that. Maybe I can make things better if I only understand why is this happening. So autoimmune disease means that your body is attacking itself. And I understood on some level that this has nothing to do with my lifestyle, that has nothing to do with my health. This has nothing to do with my physical health. It is only in my mind that somehow my brain decided that something inside of me was not right and decided to attack it. So I went deep the rabbit hole, and I started looking for answers. I started asking questions, and I started doing a introspection of myself, my memories, my trauma, my psychology, my mind, and eventually I came across Bob Proctor. So Bob Proctor, if you don't know him, he's called the grandfather of the personal development. Just as Earl Nightingale created the personal development industry, he mentored Bob Proctor after that in the 60s. And since that, Bob Proctor has had helped millions of people all over the world, including me. So I happened to stumble across one of his videos on YouTube, and I listened very carefully, and the way he explained things, he had a very simple yet very effective way, and scientific, especially scientific, because they needed to make sense of things. And I made the decision fast that this is what I want to do. I want to listen to this man and do exactly what he tells me. And this is what I did after that. So I did everything that he told me, and so I signed up to whatever programs that he was offering, and I listened to everything, and I took notes, and I started making decisions, and I started making changes through understanding, because in the meantime, I happened to learn how my mind worked, and I eventually found the answer to all the questions I was looking for. And that is, dis-ease, let's hyphenate the word, dis-ease, is your body is not at ease. And why is that? It's because your mind and your body are not aligned. you're thinking something, but you're feeling something else. And usually, if the feeling is suppressed, if it's not expressed well, your body will go into a conflict. And this is exactly what was happening. So I had thoughts and emotions I was not processing. And then eventually my body started to make me aware of that problem, that my attitude, composite again, of my thoughts, feelings, and actions was not aligned. So my body was trying to tell me something, and I listened. So what happened after that? In 1 year, just 1 year, maybe just a few months, I tripled my income. I published a book. I was promoted in my job. I used to work as an executive manager for an IT company. At that time, I was a project manager, and I got promoted just after a few months to manage the whole subsidiary of the company. And eventually, yes, I healed my body, and now I'm very healthy, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm especially very grateful for the decision that I made, that I needed to understand myself better, and I needed to invest a whole year or whatever time it takes to understand my mind and to make changes to my life. Whatever I needed to change, I would make the decision, and it made it a committed decision. I would stay disciplined, even if it gets uncomfortable. And I would say, even when it gets uncomfortable, because it will get uncomfortable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because it gets uncomfortable once you try to become someone that you're not used to become, that you're not used to be. And that's your future version. And of course, it's uncomfortable. When you're trying to stretch into a different wide range of motion, your body will get uncomfortable, it will tense. The same thing happens with your paradigm. So if you're trying to change your paradigm, you will get uncomfortable. And this is what we call the terror barrier. So the terror barrier is when we do something that is so outside of our comfort zone that we feel the terror and we become tense, and we would come up, or actually it's our paradigm that will come up with all kinds of excuses and good reasons why we don't need it or why we can't do it. So yeah, that's my story. I will have a look at the chat or the Facebook group in the meantime. So let me know if you have any questions or if you want to share something. Right. Okay. Let's see what our homework for today is. So here we go. Same thing, same folder as the days before. Let's see what the questions are for today. So first question and first exercise is to write down one decision that you can think will move you forward towards your goal that you haven't made yet. So if you have already made a decision that you think will move you forward towards your goal, keep doing it. That's great. If you haven't, I'm probably certain that you already know what you need to do, but you haven't really decided to do it yet. So if that's the case, write it down and decide that you're going to do it. Action step number 2, we have 8 steps that will help you master having a winning attitude. So make sure to apply those recommendations to the best of your ability in the next 30 days. So let's see what are these 8 steps. These 8 steps are suggested by Earl Nightingale in his video, The Magic Word. And I will share the video with you after the session in the recap email that you will receive. So first step is, before you can achieve the kind of life you want, you must become that kind of individual, as we said. You must think, act, talk, walk, and conduct yourself and all of your affairs as with the person you wish to become. So start embodying that person. Second step is, your mind can hold only one thought at a time. And since there's nothing at all to be gained by being negative, be positive. So control your thoughts and always stay focused on a positive thought, one at a time. We have, I think, an average of 75,000 thoughts a day. This is how many thoughts your brain can process every day. So I'm not asking you to control the 75,000 gazillion thoughts over the day, but just when you become mindful, aware of something negative, just switch it. Just even like change places, like get up, do something else. Third step, the deepest craving of human beings is to be needed, is to feel important and to be appreciated. Give it to them and they'll return it to you. So start giving people value and giving people the impression that they are needed and that they are important. You will see that the results will come back to you the same way. 4, look at the best in new ideas. As someone said, I've never met a person I couldn't learn something from. So as I said, some people we will listen to do exactly what they tell us, and some people we would listen to do exactly the opposite. So make sure you listen either way. 5, don't waste valuable time broadcasting personal problems. It probably won't help you. It cannot help others. And 6, don't talk about your health unless it's good. So today I talked about my health just because it was a happy ending. 7, radiate the attitude of well-being, of confidence, of a person who knows where he's going. This will inspire those around you and you will find good things will begin happening to you. So start acting as a successful and happy and fulfilled person and you will see that you will start inspiring people. And when you're inspiring people, they're going to act towards you the same way, with inspiration, with new ideas, and with good thoughts and good actions. So good things will begin happening to you after that. And the last thing you need to do, and this is the main exercise, for the next 30 days, treat everyone with whom you come in contact as the most important person on earth. If you'll do this for 30 days, you will do it for the rest of your life. We established that the deepest craving of a human being is to be needed, to feel important, and to be appreciated. So start treating everyone at the best of your ability as the most important person on earth. And you will see that people will start actually treating you the same way. I think I have a question in the chat. What questions helped you the most in understanding your inner self, especially in your difficult moment to understand your hidden inner self? I started going back in my memory and started to remember what were the major life events that happened to me. How did I feel at that time? And what kinds of behavior changed after that event. So I basically went back to 2 or 3 emotional impacts that I had, 2 or 3 major life events that I had, that I knew something happened after that changed me. Even if I didn't know exactly what was happening, I just tried to describe exactly what happened and then describe what I think was my feeling. And then eventually I found the response that this happened, and then since that moment I wasn't able to do that, or since that moment my opinion of that thing changed, and this is why my behavior towards that kind of thing, that kind of people, change after that. Once you establish that and you see it clearly, even if you see it in your mind, you'll figure out that this is actually not a very good reason for me to start doing things the way I'm doing them. So you only need some time to look at the problem to understand that this is not something that is convincing enough for me to switch my behavior and to start acting the way I'm acting, if it's not actually serving me towards my goal. So this is one of the main questions that I needed to answer. Just go back to what I think was an emotional impact throughout my life. And I started asking myself, what do I really want? The first draft that I did of my want list is ridiculous. It was very like shy kind of a list. And I was always, or until then, approaching whatever I needed in life or whatever I wanted with the mindset that if it didn't happen, that's okay. as if I was apologetic to the universe of asking too much or of wanting too much. But at the same time, I knew that I needed to ask whatever I wanted because I owe it to myself to express myself to the fullest of my ability, to the fullest of my potential. I hope that helps. All right. So we saw what we needed to do as homework. Let me guys know if you have any other questions, and if not, I will see you back tomorrow, same time, for day 5. And to give you a little preview of what we're doing tomorrow we're going to talk about money, and we're going to talk about the science of getting rich. Money is one of the major taboo topics in the world. It's never comfortable to talk with other people about money, especially people who are not familiar with the concept and people who are not familiar with how to get rich and how to do business and how to become successful. So since we are already here in this safe space of successful people, I feel comfortable enough to talk about money with you guys. And I have prepared some very great golden nuggets, as I did today, about money and about the science of getting rich, because again, this also is a science and it makes sense and it can be an equation. And I absolutely love that, because once you make sense of it and once the rational brain makes sense of it, it can accept it. And once you can accept it as an idea, you get emotionally involved with it, you will start acting towards it, and you will start seeing the results. So yes, I'm super excited too. Thank you for that. All right, with that being said, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today and have a great rest of your day.